was, at least. Then you kind of get used to it.
What about, because there is so much written, like you said, like your relationship was going through so much, and is like, what is the status of you guys now? Because I swear it changes if you read online as a viewer.
I know. In real life, it changes too. So that's an accurate. I think that, we've been together 12 years. I think that that's a difficult thing, just to cut ties, and especially when you have 3 children and a puppy. But what do they say? It takes 7 times to leave someone. I don't know. I don't think that it's an amazing relationship right now. It's making me want to cry. So I'm trying, but it is very up and down.
Well, first of all, if you cry here behind the velvet rope, you're not going to be the first person or the second person. Not that I want to make you cry. That's not my goal here today. So I mean, like, are you guys officially like getting a divorce, or?
So I filed for divorce. I filed for separation, and then there was something gnarly that happened, and then so I changed it to divorce, and we were living separately. So at the same time that I had moved to a new house, and so it's like good timing. And then I went to Mexico for this charity. Came back, and he was like, "Please, can we go to counseling? Can we try?" And so for the last couple of weeks, we've been doing that. But then I think that as of yesterday, we're now separated again. So I don't know. I don't know how much you're supposed to try. I just kind of want to move on.
I don't blame you.
Today, in this hour, right now, I would like to move on.
Well, this is going to air like probably 3 days from now. So
see. No, I think it's reached a point of, I don't know. If I knew, I would have all the answers, but I'm not happy in this current relationship.
And he wants to try to maybe work it out.
I'm not sure. He will be all about it one time, and then, disappear in the next and blame me. And how many times can you go in the same cycle,
I agree. I mean, I feel that I walk away too quickly. So you're speaking to the wrong person. So, I mean, I'm not married for many years with children, so I understand it's also different, but I agree. I think like that's not directed towards you, but like, isn't that what they say? The definition of insanity is where like you keep doing the same thing over and over and just expect a different result.
I know. If I knew the answers, I'd be a therapist, but I don't. I just can make people pretty.
Well, that's important too. Does your new house, though, that you're in, does it have as good a view as that old house? Because it had such a nice view.
It's not as big of a view, but it's a closer view. So I think we're like 6 houses from the beach. So the top floor has a great view. And then, then you can just walk to the beach. You can hear the ocean, which is so special. And it's right by where I grew up. So, it was really, really like important to me and special to me to go back to where I grew up,
That's nice.
That was a big deal. It's a big deal for me.
Did watching the show have anything to do with like either positive or negative, like the effects of like where you are now in your relationship? Like, look, they say reality TV is really hard for relationships. Like, did that kind of exacerbate this and force this divorce, or was it the opposite? Like, wow. Or in like, at the same thing, like, seeing this is strange and these things aren't okay.
I think that reality TV definitely puts a magnifying glass on anything that's already there. So I don't think it created a problem. There's, definitely problems before that, but it like amplifies it. And then I don't know if it's being in the public eye or having people, message you, or you almost get reinforcement like, oh, you're right, this isn't normal. Like it was so normal for me for so long, and then you're like, wait, you're right. You know what I mean? So I think it definitely exacerbates anything that is going on in your life.
And did like watching it, or like, look, because there are a lot of people that had a lot of reactions and a lot of thoughts on your relationship. I mean, was that hard to kind of, like, wow, if all of a sudden I'm in the public eye and everyone has an opinion on this, and, like people point to like certain scenes, like of things Ryne did to you, and they're like, oh, that was cringeworthy. It's hard to watch him.
I mean, but that's kind of how real life is with us too. So I think that, I don't know. I've held on for a really long time. I think he's a good person. I just don't know if we're good together, you know, because I'm very charismatic. I'm like a lot of personality. And I think people who have like a lot of personality, a lot of almost like creativity, gravitate towards the calm, stable person, and the calm, stable person gravitates towards the exact opposite of them. But then, like, how do you live together? Like, how do you function? You know what I mean? Because then you have like no common ground. So I don't know.
1 billion trillion %. I get it, because I gravitate towards very calm, settled, quiet people. And then, yes, after like a minute, you're like, this is a little strange. You're like too quiet almost. And you think I'm insane, but I get it. I totally understand that.
Yeah. And then if you're dating someone who's just like you're like, oh my gosh, we could conquer the world, but we might actually like self-implode too. So like, what's the answer? I don't know.
Totally. Is it hard to have everyone like positive or negative have like an opinion on your relationship, like as you're going through it? I mean, the world feels that they can weigh in, right?
I actually enjoyed it. It was interesting hearing both sides. I mean, I think one thing that was positive that almost 99.9% was like positive towards me. Do you know what I'm saying? So like some people wanted to diagnose him and send Instagram messages diagnosing him. Other people were like, you know, he's terrible and ignores you. Other people were like, you know, you deserve more. So it was overall like, I don't think I thought it was actually interesting to hear different people's point of views. I'm not getting insulted by it. It made me think a little bit more and maybe see things in a different light. And, you know, you get a couple jerks in there and you're like, wow, you're such a great person. Thanks for reaching out.
Block. You're like, let's just hit the block button.
I'm like, I don't need that. Thanks. They're like, you work too much. I'm like, I know. Do you have a solution?
I mean, first of all, I don't know any doctor that doesn't work all the time. That's just what it is. That means you're dedicated to your patients. People need things done.
Yeah. And I mean, I love my patients. I like to take care of people. So clearly.
Yes. What about, you know, you say like you were relieved, like when you weren't coming back, you know, is any thought process of like, wait, if you were coming back, you'd be filming right now. Like this, your relationship is now would be amplified. Like it would be there right here today.
Right. And like to think of exactly. I mean, I would have loved, it's mixed feelings, right? It's like, it's mixed feelings because of course you want to be invited back. You want to be wanted. You want to have that excitement again. At the same time, it's like, it's a lot. It's a kind of exhausting. And I think Cece was more upset than anyone. She was like, where's the cameras?
You're like, okay, there's no cameras coming back. Would you think Ryne would have been a part of this if you had gone back?
You know what? It's interesting because we are having all these problems right now. But I did cry afterwards, like the next morning, very early. And he was so sweet about it. He was just so nice about it. I was like, I bet you're so happy, you know, whatever. He's like, no, I haven't thought of myself yet. I think that if you want something, you should fight for it. And if, you know, you should do it. Like, do it if you want to do it. Which was really, I thought that was really sweet. So that was actually a positive on his end.
That is really sweet.
He gets a point for Ryne.
A point for that, especially since like you said, he didn't really necessarily like being there. It sounds like he would have possibly done it again to support you.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe he could have been a little more supportive the time before. That would have helped too.
That would have helped. What did he think of his portrayal on the show? Because like I know you said like you think you came across maybe like as quieter than you really are. Like what did he think of his portrayal?
He didn't like it, but then at the same time I was like, but Ryne, that's kind of how it is in real life. So I wish you could take it more as like a learning tool than like a defensive thing, you know? That would have been more helpful.
That would have been very good. Well, we also saw, listen, we've had tense moments between you guys. We saw like Heather Dubrow at, the dinner party. She like tried to give you advice, and look, Heather and Terry even had a show, 7-Year Stitch. Like, did Heather give you guys good advice? I mean,
she gave me good advice. Yeah, like just being more patient, more like how to ask for things or seeing it from his point of view. Yes, she did. Yes. But we're also married to two extremely different people. So it didn't always work, right? But she did have good advice.
other than Heather, who I think gives great relationship advice as well,
Yeah.
who would you take relationship advice from out of your other castmates first?
I did appreciate Emily's advice. I think she's gone through something similar. She's more of the dominant personality and kind of running the show over there. So I appreciated her advice because she's experienced it. So I like that too. Yeah.
She did. And I mean, viewers just were not embracing Shane in the beginning, and now he's kind of like a fan favorite. So
Oh, is he?
Well, I mean, at least people, I think, appreciate him now, and their marriage seems to be in a good place. What do I know? But as a viewer, that's what it seems. Who is the last person you would take advice from out of your other 3 castmates?